Hi, and welcome to the Same 24 Hours podcast. I'm Meredith Atwood, author of the book, The Year of No Nonsense. I'm a former attorney turned writer, speaker, and Ironman triathlete. Although right now, all I really like to do is lift weights. We all have the same 24 hours, but it's what we do in those hours that leads to our greatest health, happiness, and success. It's my goal to crack the code on a life of less nonsense so we can all make the most of our 24 hours. So let's get started.
I went to K-State University for a couple of years and stayed in the Midwest, and I now have 5 girls who are absolutely amazing, powerful, and just wonderful. And I have a really yummy husband who's like thebomb.com, right?
And he's got a great name too. What's his name?
Olivier.
Olivier. See, I knew that. I heard it on something. I was like, oh, I got to remember his name. Olivier. That's a nice name.
He's a nice guy, nice name, and just all kinds of just yummy, all kinds. So that's a whole nother podcast.
That's another one. We're not there yet.
Yes, but I could tell you, I could definitely. And just my background, I did beauty for 20 years and went into the TV industry and worked my way up to TV hosting for a local station here in Kansas City as a fill-in TV host. I have always done life coaching, and I'm actually in my master's program to become a therapist, clinical therapist.
Nice.
And
or not nice. I don't know.
But it's what I do. It's my connector, right? I am that person that will encourage, motivate, inspire, right? I'm that person that will get that stuff you don't want to talk about. It's just going to come out with me. It just is. But then we're going to go through the healing process. Because a lot of times when we have trauma or issues, we want to set it to the side, right?
Right. But it doesn't feel good. You're like,
right. But I'm going to help you. We have to tread those muddy waters. But I can promise you, you're going to come back being the best version of you. And that's what it's about, evolving and becoming that best version of who you're supposed to be on this earth. That's living your best life. And so that's what I do. Yeah, that's just a little smidget about me.
Well, you're magic. And I met you through 2 magical people, Britt Frank and Crystal Lampett. If I hadn't gone to Kansas for 6 months, I don't know where my life would be. So any of you who poo-poo the Midwest, that's where I found magic. I found magical people and magical healing. And so it's some truth there.
They are absolutely wonderful human beings that they definitely add to your life. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're wonderful. Yeah.
All right. So let's get down and dirty. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
This is Latrese, everyone who just joined. She's the first one I'm talking to. And so I want to make a disclaimer. I am clumsy. And Latrese said, oh, but I have to be professional. I'm like, oh no, you don't know me. You'll know me real quick. I am clumsy. I am going to say the wrong thing. So white people that are joining, this is the part you don't want to do, right? This is why you don't say anything. You don't I'm going to mess up a lot in the next, I've got 4 of these over the next few days and more in the pipeline. I'm going to mess up, but I want us to talk and openly. And Latrese is a great intro for me because she's very kind. Not that I deserve to, that's part of the narrative too. Like, do we really need more kindness? No, but I appreciate it.
But here's the beautiful thing about it. And when I say white people, I say it with love because I love my white sisters and brothers. Please hear me. And I know some of my black sisters and brothers are a little irritated with the white people saying, well, what can I do? How do you feel? What's wrong? How can I know more? What you have to understand about the American system It was never designed to know who we were. It was never designed to humanize us as Black people. So you not knowing a lot about us, that's how it's supposed to work in America.
Yeah, you mentioned before we started talking that the system was not broken. The system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. So talk about the system. I'm reading Layla Syed's book, Me and White Supremacy, and I'm taking pen to paper. And I've noticed what she talks about, like the term white supremacy, why she didn't term her book Me and White Not So Niceness or Me and Privilege, because the term white supremacy encompasses the system and how it was designed to protect whiteness. Why don't you maybe you describe it, because I'll clumse it up.
No, here's the thing. So the system, everyone's like, the system's broke. We need to fix the system. It is not broke. It was designed to dehumanize us as Black people. Because if you can dehumanize me, then I don't have value. So you can hit me, you can beat me, you can spit on me, you can kill me, you can call me names, because I am not a human, right? And so the things that are going on and have been going on, this, like, I think Will Smith coined the term that this has always been happening. It's just being filmed now. Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to walk you through my journey, right? But in the midst of it, the system's not broke. We need a new system if we're going to make everyone on the same playing field, okay? But because the system was designed to keep the white people here and us down here, not even here, because the more we can devalue someone, the more their life doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't. So the system is not broken. Stop saying that, white people. The system is not broken. It is doing what it was designed to do, to kill us, to devalue us, to mistreat us, to make us feel that we are inferior to you. So no, it's doing its job. It absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I've seen come up, and I would never propose to reframe anything Dr. Maya Angelou says, but she has the quote, when you know better, you do better. But I've noticed the big question I feel is, why didn't I know better?
Well, because
like sooner.
Yeah. You didn't have to. Again, going back to the system, you don't have to know what it's like for me to walk outside and make sure I look a certain way so I'm not judged because I'm Black. And I'm not even a light-skinned Black. I'm dark, big lips, big booty, big hips, right? That's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was light-skinned, long hair, you may get a little pass, not much. It depends on what region you're in. But
explain that real quick, pass.
Well, if I look more like you, okay? If I look more like you, then I'm a little more acceptable. I'm not as you're not threatened by me, because you have to understand all of this is mental. All of this has been, they tap into everyone's mental capacity of how we should just, I'm going to tell you some things that have happened, what is it called? Experiments that have happened to get into the whole cognitive, all of that, to make you view things in a certain way, because it brings fear or it brings a bias to you, right? So with that, and see, you gotta keep me on track because I got
there's no track. And even if we run out of even if we run out of time on Instagram, we will keep going on Zoom, and it's good.
So
no track.
So you can't be mad at yourself when you never had a need to know anything, because again, America's not designed to cater to us. It's designed to cater to you. So that's why I have to know how to act around you. That's why my kids have to know how to act at a store, because you don't want to be accused of stealing or anything like that. You don't have to worry. That's why when my husband and I walk around our predominantly white neighborhood, we have to wear certain things and we can't make real quick moves just in case. In fact, the other day we were running and my husband was like, "Did we be running?" And I was like, well, listen. And so you being curious about us has never been a priority, because it didn't need to be, because you were running America.
And you were safer running your husband was safer running because you were with him.
Safer, but now, yes, safer with me, but still even that, I wore bright clothes on purpose, the pinks. So that's my life. That's my husband's life, right?
And we do not ever think about that. And
right.
I know white women are like, "Oh, I'm scared to run. I'm scared." But you're probably scared of the Black people, right? That's why you're scared of running. Like what? Like, let's talk about why are we scared of running, but we're still not thinking about what we're wearing. Not to that degree. I mean, I think, there's that. And I think that leads us to white fragility and the whole shebang.
Absolutely. And I think we have to be okay having these conversations and talking about the realness of everything. It is ugly and it is uncomfortable on both sides, right? But if we start talking about it, bringing awareness, doing action towards a goal, right? Then we can wipe all this out. But first, I need my white sisters and brothers not to, when you say, Treese, man, I empathize with you. But when I was 12 years old, I was scared because I don't give, listen, my husband's a minister. Let me know.
Here, I'll go and you say, beep, go ahead.
Or I was talking
it's
to
like that one time at band camp. Like, is that what you hear? Like, oh, really? That one time at band camp? Like, are you kidding me right now?
Let me tell you this. Oh, my husband's on.
Oh,
Hi, Olivier.
Olivier, she said you were yummy. I'm just telling.
Oh,
he's like, I know.
Well, he's always like, do you have to use that word to describe?
It's an effective word. That goes across all racial lines. Everyone knows what yummy means.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point.
It's a good one.
But I was telling Olivier that I was talking to my girlfriend who's white and who I love dearly. And so I was sharing some of my experience, because even growing up, she didn't know what was going on because she was the blonde, blue-eyed girl, right? And in that, I was telling her, because my husband is an exec at a store here in town, and he was walking down the aisle of the store, and a little white girl. And so he was like, "Oh, let me turn around." Because, and so this is what she said. Yeah, my husband would have done the same thing just because he's a man. Do not minimize my experience. I know she didn't mean no harm, but this is what I'm talking about. You have to own it. You have to own it wasn't just a man thing. It was because he was Black, that his fear was, no one's going to say anything about me, right? So then I explained to her that in leadership that he's in, he always has to be calm and cool, not only because he's Black, but because he is from a whole nother country, right? A whole nother continent. And so anything that is rough or aggressive, like, his counterparts can come in cussing, throwing things, and it's okay, right? Oh, Larry's upset. But if he does it, because he's 6'2", And, you know, it's, oh God, oh, should we call the police? What's happening? What, you know? And so, so my husband's always on alert, right? And so her comment was, yeah, I compare it to my husband who was in the war. And, you know, when he was in the enemy's territory, right, that he was always on alert. Here's my question. First of all, you chose to be in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
My husband didn't choose to be Black. And then are you equating his life to war?
Let's go down the list of potential problems with your analogy here. Yes.
Right? So that's what I'm saying, that, you know, that's why white people now have to stay curious and really get in those uncomfortable situations to really get it, what we're saying. Because if you really get what we're saying, you're not going to say those things.
And let's take this scenario of walking down the supermarket aisle a little step further for those who may not quite get it. So my husband, also a yummy white man,
Yes.
he'll be like, did you call me yummy? That's a new one. So thank you, Latrese. Like you gave him that. But my yummy white husband turns down an aisle and there is a 5-year-old white girl. He is not going to think twice about walking down that. And he will probably say, hey, sweetheart, because we're from the South. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen to that man. I mean, she may have a snippy mom who's like, you don't talk to my daughter. And he'll be like, oh my God, ma'am, I'm sorry. That's the end of it. The cops will never be called. The news media will never be called. There will never be a phone that says, I'm going to say that you are assaulting me and a Black man. None of that. Your husband, what could it look like for him? Like, let's play the scenario of what him walking down the supermarket aisle and just walking down. And what if he even said hello, which he wouldn't do, right? It wouldn't cross his mind to do that.
He's running, he's turning around, because here's the narrative of it. If he walks down that aisle, the mom is looking for her daughter and sees him passing,
right,
her daughter, she's going to automatically see something different. Not all the time, but typically, because if you already have a bias, you already have an opinion of what you see.
Yes.
So right then, there's a problem. What are you doing? Oh my God. Oh my, come here. Let Nancy, you know, that type of situation. Jennifer. Right.
Nancy's old school white name, Jennifer. Well,
see, I'm old. See, I'm 40.
That's what, no, I understand Nancy, but I'm thinking the millennials that are listening. Let's go to Jennifer. Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, and so it's those things. You know, I was listening to one of my mentors speaking on, you know, they did an experiment, and I'm kind of chopping it up, but you can definitely Google and get the details of it. But basically they took and it was a Yale story. Oh gosh, I want to say, give me grace, let's say 2015 to 2017. I don't know exactly what year, but it was at a Yale study. They took preschool teachers, white preschool teachers, and they did a blind experiment where and I don't know exactly what that meant, because they had to eventually see these kids. But, and I'm reading what it said. It was, they saw, so what they did, they saw a white girl, white boy, black girl, black boy. And they said immediately, these kids are misbehaving, right? And so when they put the eyes on the kids, the trick of it was that none of them had bad behavior, but they went ahead and said that.
Yeah.
Okay. The teachers went straight to the black boy.
Wow.
Okay. Now, of course, I'm not giving it justice, so please look that up. It's a Yale study. But the fact that there was 4 kids. These teachers, they said they all had bad behavior.
Right. 4 rotten kids.
Their eye tracking went straight to the black boy.
Yeah.
So that tells you, again, what did I tell you? The system isn't broken. It's working according to how they planned it, right? Yes. With my girls, my husband and I are always advocates. They know the Kabuyas, listen. But there was an incident and it was a very minor incident, but I knew that it was based on bias, based on a white girl telling on my black child who does not get in trouble. Like, she's 10, but she acts 20, right? Yeah. She's just not that chick. Not like me in school. But
I don't believe it.
Right. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. But the fact was, and she was Asian. The fact was, the reason why I challenged her, because she went to my daughter and another black student and reprimanded them based on what a white girl told her. I said, did you ever get the feedback or the side of, my daughter and another young lady? And she did it. Let me tell you this. I'm a Christian. I love the Lord with all of my heart. But what you're not going to do is mess with my kids. So, my husband is, the sweet, come on, baby. Now he don't play either. But my point was, this is what you did that to me in school, but you're not going to do it. Let me tell you that now. Okay. In school, because I told you I went to Tonganoxie grade school, Tonganoxie middle school, and Tonganoxie high school. Don't judge me. That's how small it is. And don't get me wrong. I had some great experience. Please understand. I love growing up country. I love the cows, pigs, chicken. I love my white people, right? I used to tan with them. Listen, as dark as I am, I would be out there sun tanning too. Don't play with me. I can do it all. There was times where now I know, but at the time, and my parents weren't, they grew up at a time, and I love my parents. I have amazing parents, but white was right. Okay. The system has even messed us up. Okay. And so I remember 2nd grade, Miss Hurst's class. I remember one day, like 3 adults came and got me and took me downstairs to what's called a lab for the slow people. And so I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's going on. And, I had to do work for about 3 hours in this lab. And they took me, it was like a Tuesday and Thursday. It was like every other day or something like that. And they did this for a couple of weeks, and I never said anything to my parents because, again, authority is authority. Right. And my parents didn't say anything. And, they could get away with a lot more back then. And so I remember being there for about 2 or 3 weeks. Now, let me tell you the type of student I was. I got my work done before anyone else. I was the helper. I was everything, right? And we would have 1, 2s, or 3s, 1 being like an A. I always had 1s on my report card. And the thing is, these people that were in the lab were slow, in terms of learning things. They had some type of disability of some sort, okay? And so I remember, like, I don't belong, this is so weird. And it would just be so uncomfortable. But as a little girl, you're just like, okay. After a couple of weeks, I heard the adult say, we can't keep her here. She's not meant to be down here. We can't keep her. There's nothing else we can do.
Nothing else we can do?
So when I heard that, I never went back down there, but I carried it because I never could process it until I became an adult and start understanding they was playing me. You know, they put me down there because I was black. That was it. And they said they couldn't keep me down there. How evil is that?
Yeah.
How evil.
Yeah.
Here we go. Latrese's journey.
Wow. White people, you don't have that. We don't have that. And back to the conversation about the supermarket just for a second, because I thought of something.
Yes.
I'm not immune from that. And I want to be real that my snap judgment, Malcolm Gladwell calls it a thin slice, blink, would be like, oh dear God. Because the way I was raised was exactly the way the system wants me to be. And then, but knowing where I'm at now would be like, why? Like, I'm conscious. And so I think step one, and correct me if you disagree, is to own that in ourselves.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
In anything, whether it's racism, prejudice, unforgiveness, in order to move past that thing that's holding you down, you have to own it.
Yeah.
You have to admit. You have to admit to it, right? As ugly as it can be, as ugly as it can make you feel, really that's a good thing because you'll change. You'll want to change. And you'll stay curious to know what the healthy part of it is. What is healthy when I see a black man and my little white daughter? What is healthy, right? So we have to own it first. Then we have to also, and in that is taking action, but then we really have to, my white sisters and brothers, you have to, like I said earlier, get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That means you're always the majority. Where are you going to be the minority? Because, and I'm always challenging because, for instance, even once I finished my degree, I asked one of the heads, I said, why isn't there more black professors? I said, we want to be taught and we want to see representation. And they were like, we've tried and we can't get them. They're not applying. I said, that's a lie. Let me tell you why. Because it doesn't give you any money, any incentive. I said, because you find our black boys to play basketball for you, to play football.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yes. There's no problem there.
So don't do that. Don't do that to me. And so you have to make yourself and make your teacher kids to be in situations that are not comfortable. Why are you okay always being the majority? Why is that okay? Why don't you have friends that don't look like you? Why aren't you in groups that don't look like you?
I'll tell you our white answer to that, why we don't have friends. Okay. They don't want us.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you who told you that. Who's they?
My white family. Part of the system to keep me safe and privileged and in power.
Exactly. Right there. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Absolutely. Yeah. Because
can we look how red I look? I mean, that's one good thing about being black is you don't wear your shame on your chest. I mean, I am literally feeling like hot right now because this is hard, y'all. This is uncomfortable. Okay. And I'll tell you what's uncomfortable and this is not about me, but I want to share the story. On Facebook, 2 years ago, I was at an event in Boston. I was talking to my friend and I said, I am not going to ever get political on social media. It's not what my platform is about. It's too divisive. And she was like, really? And I'm like, yes. And she sent me a message and she goes, you remember that conversation we had at breakfast 2 years ago? And she goes, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I am proud of me too. But I came out on Facebook as a anti-racist. I'm not with you guys. I come from the South. I know my friend list. I'm not with you. Like, that's what I came out and said. And I thought, okay, I'm going to lose some friends over it. The crazy part to me was I lost about 100 friends on Facebook. I had 350 emails unsubscribes, and I lost another hundreds of likes on Facebook, whatever. The scary part to me was that the people I lost thought I was with them all this time.
Wow.
And for me, that was a very big checkpoint. For anyone who's struggling, like, I'm just coming out as an anti-racist, coming out like, oh my God, everyone should be equal. Psst.
Yeah.
Pass it on. Think about the people that you will lose, and why you have them now is because they think you're as bigoted, racist in your heart and don't want to change. Like, that's the difference. We're all racist. I'm sorry, we're racist. It's a job to become anti-racist. That's the journey that we're on. But it's the people that want to stay in the blind and act like this system is broken. The system is broken, but act like the system is broken and are working or whatever. It's those white people in your life that you do not want in your life, honestly. Or the other, I got kind of put down for this, like, you should be trying to change people and show them the way. Okay, yes, maybe I took the wrong approach. So maybe yes or no. But that's what I learned from this, is that so many people thought I was on their team.
Yeah.
And that is where the shame is. It's like, oh God.
Again, because you guys haven't had to stretch.
Right.
Because you guys haven't had to evolve or grow. You know, it's nothing for me or my children to be in a situation, again, where I'm the minority.
Right.
My youngest daughter plays soccer. And so when we went out, you know, I said, okay, baby, I don't see anyone that looks like us. Are you good? And she was like, I'm so used to it. That was her answer.
But that's wasn't your question. Your question was, are you good?
And I'll tell you something about any of my children. They'll let you know, not only are they American, right, because of me, but they're Congolese, right? And they take pride in their African heritage. And so many times, what makes me proud as a mother, because sorry.
No, you're back.
I as a mother, I'm proud of their confidence, because, you know, I really work on confidence. I have self-esteem classes. I do coaching on confidence, and you know, finding who you are from the inside out, because for so long I was embarrassed. Right? Because we would have history books. So let me tell you about history books, my white sisters and brothers. History books are lies, okay? They have pulled out a lot of information and put in lies, okay? Not everything is a lie. I'm not, you know, I wouldn't do that. But they even will what I was told. Now, I haven't opened a history book in a long time, but they've even reworded the portion on slave and make it, instead of being Black people were in slavery, it's like enslaved, almost like they had a choice whether or not to be in it. Okay.
Oh, like I-N slave or in versus enslaved.
Right. Okay. So almost like an option or a choice. Now, I haven't opened a book, but just, you know, as I was kind of just reading and studying, and I saw that, I was like, what? And so, of course, it took me back to my childhood. I would purposely be sick during the time when they would talk about slaves. Let me tell you something. I did not know how awesome Black people were until I became an adult. I didn't know I thought all my life, because what I was taught, right, the system, that all we were slaves. And then you heard about Martin Luther King, but they killed him. So
right, they didn't. No one liked him back then. Now everyone's like,
yeah,
"Oh, Martin Luther King."
yeah.
We
And you
didn't
were kind
like
of like,
him.
right. And I was like embarrassed, like, okay. And then Harriet Tubman, they always showed the picture where she looking mean and rough. So I'm like, do you see what I'm saying? And so with that, I would be sick on purpose because all it talked about was slaves. They didn't talk about us being inventors or entrepreneurs or kings and queens. They didn't talk about how the white people came and took us.
Yeah.
That was never in the narrative. That was never. So it's like, okay, I had to learn who I was as an adult because I'm here trying to be okay, be this, because I was told, you are so cool for a Black girl, or you're so pretty for a Black girl, or you don't act Black.
You don't act Black, yeah. You
right?
Don't sound Black.
You don't sound.
That
Say
one
that
too.
again.
You don't sound Black, right? You get that one too.
Honey, let me tell you, all the different surprises that I give people when I show up on the scene.
You're a surprise.
Oh, listen, and because honey, let me see. Can you see me? This. Look at
well, I can show you, but we're not going to talk about mine because we're talking about you.
But you see what I'm saying? So I come in, I'm hippie, I'm shapely. I come in with this big personality and people don't know what to say. But again, this is what I live. And so, I'm proud to be Black. I'm proud of who I am. And just, okay, side note, because I'm going to side note things. White sisters and brothers, listen to me. Stop saying I don't see color. I love everyone.
Yeah.
Then you take away who I am.
Right. This is what I learned recently. I learned that saying colorblind is the stupidest and also offensive thing to say.
It's very offensive because I'm not ashamed of my Blackness. I'm not ashamed of being Black. I'm not ashamed of this. Look at this. This is so pretty.
It's
what?
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And you age so much better than we do. Hello, white girls. Well, you can't tell how old. You look 24.
This is why I age well. I'm in the beauty. Remember, I was in the beauty industry, so I know how to take care of my skin as well. So I work on my skin. So I may be 47, but I may look about 35. And then, when I'm out with my kids, especially my 26 and 20-year-old, and people are looking at us like sisters, I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
I will go ahead and lump you into a stereotype that Black women age beautifully. Sorry, I'm not going to be sorry for that because it is true. That is just facts.
Well, I'll say this. My mom will be 80 in December, and it's ridiculous how she looks. I'll just say that. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and own that. Yeah. Own that. Yeah. But, yeah. But what else do you want to know?
And again, Latrese is not speaking for all Black people. She's not like the token spokesperson for all Black people. I think that's an important construct. But she is sharing her experiences. I do want to talk about the idea of white supremacy in the system. I think this is where we as white people did not or do not get it. And I think, so let's talk about that. I'm working through Me and White Supremacy, which I mentioned earlier, but the definition of white supremacy, which makes white people cringe because we're good people. I'm not a racist. I don't have white supremacy. That's not the point. The point is white supremacy is the system. It is unearned protection, privilege, and power. It was a system designed to keep, what you mentioned, keep us white people asleep and unaware of that privilege and protection and power and what that has cost those who don't have it. So white supremacy is a system designed to keep us asleep. And because we don't even understand what we receive for our whiteness has come at a cost for those who don't have it. We, white people, cannot change our skin, just like Black people can. However, we can work to dismantle the system. So that is our calling.
It is. It absolutely is. And that's the thing. Like, for instance, if I have a friend who, okay, perfect example. I have a girlfriend who lost her husband a couple years ago. I don't know what that's like, right? But what did I have to do? I had to figure out how to comfort her, how to minister to her, how to love her, what she needed in the midst of that, how to help her and walk her through the journey. That's all we're asking. Figure it out. Find out. Be a part of it. Was it uncomfortable even in that situation?
Yeah.
Right? And then, but I wanted to stand and let her know I was for her. I was there. And it brought a sensitivity to me for widows. It brought a sense of, you know what? I need to do better reaching out to these women, especially in our church, that have lost a husband or something like that. So it brought awareness. So my thing is, with what's going on and the situations that are happening and transpiring, that we have to, you have to, my sister, my white sisters and brother have to get involved, take action. It's not time to be silent. It's time to use your white privilege. This is the time.
Now's the time to use it, for God's sake. Now, go, white people.
To work the system. But I'll tell you this, what's disheartening is when my friends are quiet.
Yes.
That has hurt. Let me tell you, and I hope I don't cry because I am a crybaby, but there has been so many white sisters and brothers of mine that have called me, texted me, inboxed me, and I just cried because it was like, wow. You know, they feel me, they love me, they want to do something, they want to be changed.
What did they say? What did they say that was the right, because we want to do the right thing, but it doesn't matter. I know that, but what did they say?
Here's the thing. Just like when someone dies, you don't know what to say.
You just check on them. I'm checking on you, thinking of you.
I'm checking on you. I'm praying for you if you're spiritual. You know, I had some people real honest. I don't know what to say to you, but I do want you to know I'm with you, and whatever you need, I'm here. You know, just be organic. Just
humans speak.
That's it. And so now listen, let me tell you this. And I'm that person. I'm very open. I don't hold grudges unless you fool with my kids. But those that have been silent, you can't give me the excuse, right? That I didn't know what to say. Because even as I post, I'm giving you
the opportunity. You can like it and share it. Like, that's something.
Lend your voice. So what I told my kids is, it's going to look different now, because I can't let you go to a White House that's silent, because now the line has been drawn in the sand.
Wow.
I don't know if that prejudiced, racist uncle will be there and you're there.
Wow. But you have to think about that. Oh my God.
To think about that, because you're silent, and your silence, a lot of times silence is agreement.
Yes, it is. I noticed that when all my friends left. They thought I agreed with them.
Right. So you can't just be racist. You know, I'm not racist. You can't, because that just means you don't have that in your heart. You have to be anti, meaning when you're with the majority and they say nigga, or they say, look at that Black person, or, you know, let's just be real. If we're going to be honest, you know, that's a word that's always used when we're not around. Well, when we're around too. But you know what I'm saying? It's comfortable when you're with the majority, right? And I need you to be an ally. So
Yes.
I need you to be anti-racist. You're fighting it. When you're with your uncle and your cousins, right? And they're talking about, you know, jet. let me just stop. But when you're with them and you don't say anything,
yes.
how can I trust you to protect my child?
Correct.
How can I trust you? So this year, when you say, hey, can my child, Amina, or, Naomi, come over? No, absolutely not. No. Mm-mm. This is too important.
Right.
Where we are right now in America, it's too important. And you can't go back. You just can't. And so no, you can't. No,
And
she can't.
No, you can't. And sitting on the, and this may sound like self-preservation, but I want you to really think about it, white people, my white people friends. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history on it. Like,
right.
You know how bad that's going to smell to your children and your grandchildren when you are
right,
like those people.
Let me tell you why. Because this new generation, they ain't playing and they ain't scared. And I'm using ain't. Listen.
That's your Kansas coming out.
Right. They ain't scared and they're going to fight, and so you don't want to be like, your grandson talk about grandpa. You didn't do nothing.
Yeah. No.
What? Because here's the thing. This generation, they integrating with each other. You're seeing more mixed couples than ever before. Yeah. And so if nothing else, look at what the future is about to hold for you, baby. You're about to have a Black grandchild. How about that? And so we don't even want to get into the churches when, a white family can go to a Black church up until it's time to start dating. And a lot of times after that, they deuce out.
No kidding.
Because it's right. But see, here's the thing. When there's a white preacher and a mixed congregation, it's okay. But when it's a Black preacher and a mixed congregation, you see them sift away. I've watched it. I've watched that over and over again. Being in ministry, I see it. We're not threatened by a white preacher with a mixed congregation. We're like diversity, yes. But let your kids say, Amina Grace Antoinette Kabuya, a real Congolese name, is cute, and it's a done deal. It's time to go. I had my classmates. We had went to a funeral and of one of our beloved teachers. And, I'm cute. Listen, Black, white, green, and purple. I'm cute no matter what. As long as you can see, I'm cute. And this is quarantine month. But what I will say is this. I was dressed all nice, all prettied up and dolled up. And it was about 4 white guys, 4 white classmates who I love. And we were talking about the past. And one guy said, Latrese, man, I wanted to date you so bad, but my parents wouldn't let me. And then another one piped up and said, same here. Wow. They thought they were complimenting me. Let me tell you about Latrese. Latrese loves God, is saved, received Jesus. And so, but Latrese has had to work on her cussing. Okay. And so I wanted to, and Jesus is not through with me quite yet. Okay. So I wanted to say, get the F out of here. That's no compliment. That's ignorant. You should have kept that to yourself.
Yeah.
What is, oh, so I'm privileged because you think I'm cute. You like me. Do you know who I am? I'm a powerful Black woman, baby. You wish you could have me. You can't even handle me.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So these are the things that we go through every day. This is a day in the life of Latrese.
Is this literally a day? Like every day there's some, and I don't have, I think Jesus used a lot of cuss words. So I think that every day's got bullshit. Because the funny thing about me is I'm really irreverent, but I grew up very much in church. I can quote the Bible. Like the other night on Jeopardy was like the shortest verse in the Bible. I was like, what is Jesus wept? And my husband's like, it's like every once in a while, like it'll come out.
Yes.
But I challenge people all the time. Like Jesus was cussing when he was overturning the temple tables. I'm sorry. He wasn't like, excuse me, let me say. He wasn't like, oh, excuse me, loved one, little sheep and lamb. Let me turn this table. No, I don't believe it. It's okay.
I'll tell you this. I almost agree, but the guy, Olivier, let me tell you about Olivier. When you meet him, you'll be like, okay, this is Jesus' son. Like I call him baby Jesus. When I tell you it's been 18 years and he has not said a cuss word yet, and I know I get on his nerves sometimes.
Wow.
Yes. That's what I said.
Amazing.
Yes,
Yummy and pious.
Right.
Wow, that's impressive.
Exactly.
Okay, so I see your argument. I will concede if you have been married to a man who has not said a cuss word in 18 years, maybe Jesus didn't cuss when he turned the tables over. Okay, fair enough.
Olivier has been upset, and that's why I call him baby Jesus. So I'm like, I don't know how you doing this. I don't know how. So, but yeah, this is our life. This is daily. Even when the girls, we have a quick trip here, in Kansas City, and they want to go down the street to a quick trip, and my daughters drive, and I always have to prep them first. I always have to tell them, can you still see me?
Yeah, you're there. Yep.
Hold on.
You're here. I can hear you if you can hear me.
Okay, you're good? Okay.
Yeah. Even if you're frozen,
okay, and
you're going through.
I can't hear you. Hold on. Okay, say that again.
Say something.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. So I always have to prep them before they leave, right? And so all I'm saying is that, we're tired.
Yeah.
We're tired. We're tired. I love being Black. I love our rich history. I love who we are. I love how we can overcome, because we was chilling in Africa, and that, and when we were stolen and brought here, like, what in the Sam Hill are we doing? But still, even in that, we have overcome, and we're entrepreneurs, and we're CEOs, and we're this and we're that, and we still have a system that has been on our neck for years. America's always been on our neck. We just got to see it in manifestation form. That's all. That's it. That's it.
All right, we have 4 minutes on Instagram. We can continue recording on Zoom. But there's a question from one of my friends from the South. How do we meet? How do we show up for you? Like, you asked, what do you want to talk about? What do you need? Like, what do you need? Like, that's the question. And how do we meet you? How do we say, how do we meet you and say, I'm with you? And what do we do? Not like teach me, but like, genuinely.
Well, I think the first thing is expand your circle. One of the things that I do just in general, especially because now I'm getting my master's in clinical work, social work, I still seek out people, and it doesn't matter if they're Black or white, because I'm just kind of, it doesn't matter if they're Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. So I think you have to expand your circle, right? Your community. And so if that is nothing else, you're on social media, so start following people that don't look like you.
Yeah.
Start educating yourself through the lens of several Black people, because my story is my story as a Black woman, but the other person's story may be different. You know what I'm saying? So start learning, read. You keep mentioning, you're reading a lot. I don't like to read a whole lot, but it's important because it empowers you. It gives you knowledge. So it's key, especially now in this turning point in America. But don't read books like or magazines like Cosmopolitan. Get you an Ebony. Get you an Essence, right? Get you something that you don't know nothing about. Start reading. One of my professors, I did a paper on Black hair and the prejudice against us wearing our natural hair, right? And being in the TV industry, I had to be very cautious and mindful. Like this right here, I will take this out after we're done because these are snap ins. But my thing was I was more accepted with this look than a natural. So I had to educate, because he swore that it was not true. So I start sending him documentation and courts, that had lawsuits on, regarding. So I think you have to start educating. There's movies. What is that one? 13 on
Netflix.
Watch it. It's gonna make you uncomfortable. You're gonna even be like, this is not true. This is a lie. No. Be open. Be ready to receive. If you really want to change, your heart will be open. Because the one thing about Black people is that majority of them, we'll take you back in. That's why we do what we do in America, because we're so forgiving. Us as Black people, we are such forgivers, and we'll continue, right? And so make yourself available to the minority.
Yeah.
Okay,
we have 1 minute. Okay. We have 1 minute. I want to say real quick, this journey, this understanding white supremacy, healing our nation, creating a new system. This is not personal growth work for white people. This is about saving lives. Okay, so this is not, we're going to be better people. No, this is about saving lives, making a difference, dismantling a system. So thank you, Latrese. We're going to continue on Zoom, but Instagram's telling me to count down. Where can people follow you? I mean, obviously, go click on her name and go follow her. But other than that, you have a podcast and...
It's called Insights with Latrese. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. Tonight I'll be on with Yummy Olivier tonight.
Oh, Yummy will be on. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to end Instagram and then we're going to pop over. But thank you, everyone. All right. Are you sure you want to end the live video? All right. Yes. And I'm going to share. Don't go anywhere.
He will.
We're still
okay, so now I need to turn you
up. I want to make sure I get this saved.
Can you hear me?
Tell you I could kill Instagram lately. Next.
Hold on.
All right. Wait, now I have to turn your volume up on here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So let's keep talking. You talk about something while I save this to Instagram.
Okay.
Unless you have to go. Do you have to go?
No.
Okay.
I definitely. I don't have another meeting until 1:00.
Okay.
I will say this. I appreciate those that have reached out and wanting to get the information, no matter what it may look like, like I told you earlier in the game that, some people may be like, they should have been woke and all of that. We can't go back to that. We just got to move forward and make some change now. And we can't do this for a couple of weeks and then call it quits. This is ongoing. And because of the way things have happened and have been happening, we can't go back. So we can't be juiced up for the next couple of weeks, couple of months, and then go back to our comfortable place.
Right.
You have to continue to push and fight and be allies, be a voice. That's the biggest thing, is especially my white sisters and brothers who have a big platform, a large platform. Allow voices to be heard that normally wouldn't be heard, dealing with race and racism and all that. So there is understanding, and there is, because I still think that it's okay. I'm okay with educating. I'm okay talking about it. I'm okay sharing my experiences, because you don't know. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to look at someone that wants you to speak at an event and have to be like, okay, what part of town is this? Okay, Olivier, do you think you can get off that day so we can go? Because you just don't know what's going to jump off, right? Because the person who's having the event may be cool, but the people invited to the event, when they see me, may get upset.
Wow.
So
we don't know. I mean, we don't think about that. Never.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we think about. So I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. And so what I would think about when I had to go to an event is, would there be Black people there that I got to worry about? And that's honest. And because that was the programming. So in Savannah, it's very segregated. The downtown, it's very segregated. It's almost, and then I moved to Atlanta, which same sort of issues, white suburbs, but there's more diversity in Atlanta, a little, but growing up, it was like, hey, I'm going to go downtown and smoke cigarettes at the coffee shop, because that's what I did. And it was like, oh, you're going downtown. Yes. Where the Black people live.
Okay.
And I mean, that is truth.
But here's the thing. The South, y'all don't play. Y'all are openly prejudiced. Yeah. Okay. Whereas Midwest, we're passively prejudiced. So you may think I like you, right? You may think I like you, Black girl, but I really don't. But we're passive here in the Midwest. Let me tell you, my husband and I went to Dallas for business. And so we were driving the Mercedes, and I got out the car. This white old man looked at me, when I tell you, in disgust. Like, how dare you be, I mean, when I tell you, his look was so horrific. Well, being Latrese, can I help you? And he was like, I said, sir, can I help you?
Oh my gosh, though.
You need. And he walked away. See, I'm not playing with you, sir. I'll hit an old man now. I'm
so sorry I didn't meet you when I was in Kansas. Oh my gosh.
So it's just those things. Now, hear me.
Oh, here's a white people story for you. This was what just came in my head, and I'm just going to call it.
Okay.
This happens to me when people see me with tattoos. Not the same, but in my mind, I'm like, but old white people will look at people with tattoos that way, but it's not the same.
Yeah. But you get it. So, okay, so when people see you with tattoos, they automatically will form an opinion, right? A biased opinion, right? But it's still not as aggressive, right? Where you can still walk, do whatever you need to, run, versus when it is yours. That was a choice for you to get a tattoo, all them tattoos. When you're this, right? And it's still people just, but then you have this. Let me tell you, Meredith, what's so funny is that you have the other side of it too, because, my husband's very proper. I'm very country and loud. My kids, they are very proper, right? So it's also, I just love the Kabuyas. Why? Because we don't fit that stereotype that you were taught. And
Mm.
so, and now hear me. I'm not, always listening to hear prejudice. No, no, no. You just know the response. You just know how people act. You know that it's like, I'm so impressed that them two Black people could raise those five little eights. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Because
Mm.
again, think about it. If you go back to history, what were we always compared to? Apes. So right there, again, dehumanizing, not giving us value. So it's almost like the token Black family, they're so cute and they're well behaved.
Put them in a museum so we can go look at them and we can have entertainment.
Yeah. Listen, my white brothers and sisters love our culture. They love
yes.
it.
Yes.
Listen.
Because it's amazing.
They love our culture. They just don't love us. And that's what's sad.
Yeah. Well, I'm loving you.
I love you, Meredith. You're my new friend. You are my new friend. And I'm being nosy because I'm looking back there. Bye, sweetie. So can you come here for just a moment? I want to show you something. So this is my 20-year-old. Bend down.
Hi, 20-year-old.
That's Morgan. This, and she goes to HBCU. This, I'm telling you, here in the Midwest, do you get stares all the time and looks? Mm-hmm. But then when she goes back to HBCU and she's on her campus, it's, oh my gosh, look at this, beautiful, beautiful. So I love the fact, bye baby, be safe, I love you. Okay, baby. I love the fact that she embraces her. She doesn't care what you think. She doesn't care about the looks, can I feel your hair? Can I punch you in your eye?
I learned that one way long ago. I can't believe people still do that. But for any white people that are listening that have not understood this message, do not touch, do not ask, do not move your hand toward another person, any person, like any person's head, to touch someone's hair. Because one, it's not your hair to touch. Number two, when you do that, you imply that they are your property to touch.
And that we're what is it?
A novelty, like
we should be in a museum.
A sideshow.
Like it's like, what? My hair is just my hair. And so, but you know what? This is America, and we just have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but it doesn't take away my love for my people and my Black, white, brown, everybody. I love people just in general. I love people, and I love that we're different. I love that. To me, it's like, let me know, because let me tell you, I don't know everything. I don't know, Asians or, Mexicans or whatever, because I was engaged to a Mexican guy for 3.5 years in my former life. And I always ask questions because I didn't know. Yeah. And so I wanted to know, I wanted to understand, so it really is okay. It really is okay. Right. But
you have to know that you don't know, and say you don't know, and quit acting like you know.
Because you don't know.
Because you don't know.
Right.
Complete that. Yeah.
And it's okay. It doesn't take away from anything. If you're my friend, you'll get to know me. You'll get to understand me, because I need you to love me the way I need to be loved, not the way you think I should be loved. We talk about being married, love language. My husband knows I like affirmation and I love time. That's my love language, right? So as my white friend, my white counterpart, I need you to know my love language.
Yeah.
I need you to know how to love me. Even during
Mine
this
is too. So we
time.
should just get along. We'll just love on each other with affirmations in time.
We can do it. Because I need to come up there on the East Coast. I haven't been up there to speak anywhere. So I need to find my way there.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. And I just appreciate you for this platform. Because you don't have to do this. There's so many other ways that you could do it, but I think this is powerful. Because we have to talk about something that's not comfortable.
Yeah.
You have to hear things that aren't easy to hear. And then you have to also hear with the intent to change.
Yes.
And so your heart has to be open. And so I appreciate that's what you're doing, and you're helping others, because that's who we are as leaders, right? We promote change in everything.
Yeah.
Even in this. So
well, and I want, part of me opening my platform is not, I mean, I want to make myself feel better for sure. Like, let's be transparent. This makes me feel like I'm being a good person. And white people want to be good people. But this holds me to account for being a part of the change. Because if I have a slew of Black people on my podcast for the next 5 days, and then you start to scroll through my podcast and it's all white people, because my podcast was very white. It was. I had a few, this is what I am standing up and saying, I am part of this change and I'm going to prove it to you. And part of me is when I say I'm going to do something, I go do it.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
I want to be a part of that. And I want my audience to go, okay, yeah, we're doing it too. Cause she's doing it just like they do everything else I do, like triathlons. We're going to do this too, people.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it, because like, for instance, like I said, that I actually, do seminars and stuff. So my speakers are always diverse. My attendees are always diverse. If you look at any of my guests on the podcast, if you didn't know who I was, you don't know if I'm Black or white, green or purple, because it's not about the color, right? And I have been criticized, that Latrese, you just bring everybody. What about us? Well, us is important. So I'm always going to be down with us. But I love us, right?
Yeah. You love humans.
Us. I do. All lives matter. But right now we're talking about Black lives because they have no value.
Right.
So I can't say to you, or when white people say to us, don't say Black Lives Matter, that's offensive.
That's so dumb. God, like anyone listening, do you know how dumb you are if you're saying that? Like, you're dumb.
I'm like,
of course white lives matter. Hello, where have you been? It's the system. We already covered this in part 1.
And so I didn't argue, because that's one thing. I'm not going to argue about what's going on. You just don't want to see it.
Right.
But just the mentality of, there was one person that said, well, we still need to see all the evidence.
Oh my gosh. No, not with, no. I will say this, since we're on here, the one concern that I've heard, me being a former lawyer, is that the charges aren't hard enough. And that is so true. But I think the legal twist in this is if these cops are charged too hard, they will walk under the law. And so while their justice is going to have to be served with a lesser included offense in a lot of counts, and so I like, that's one of the dialogues that I think needs to be talked about, just in the legal sense.
Yes.
Charge him with 3rd degree, but also get him on, whatever, assault and this and this and this. And they each have 7-year sentences and they're served consecutively. And then he's gone for 75 years. Like, that needs to be the goal. That's justice.
But what was interesting, because I just saw, and I might be late to the party, is that the 3 officers, there's an Asian, white, and Black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so confused. That's all I needed to say about that.
I haven't watched the news in 2 days because I've been too mad. And I'm confused too, and I need to go read on it. But I think it's just like, that's a good term, confused.
I'm so confused. And then I guess too, I'm just so confused with humanly, how can you, like, me and that officer would have been, I would have been smacking his head or something. I would have been doing something. And again, I'm not gonna put my, say too much other than they're gonna have to reap what they sow. They're going to have to deal with the consequences of their actions.
And the interesting thing, and not interesting, but and I don't know the name of the man who was there, who witnessed. He was on CNN, and I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But he was a Black man, and he was. And no, like, he stood there and watched it, but knowing he had to stand there and watch it or he would have been killed. Like that, me as a white woman, I could have come barreling down the street like a crazy woman, buck naked, jumped on the cop, and I would have lived. Like, that's the difference in all of this. So lived.
And that's why I said, that's why I have to be very mindful, because even though it's an attack against Black lives, period, but our target is our Black men, our target. And so I send texts to my husband even before this started, come home to me, be safe.
I send mine, don't come home. Just kidding. But I don't worry about my white man going outside. I don't worry about it.
No, so those are our dialogues, know. So we have a lot to do. There's a lot.
We have a lot to do. We white people.
all. We have
all.
A lot to do. Because we also have become comfortable with America's foot on our neck too. Because as long as we, and this is a whole nother podcast, but as long as, a couple of us make it, we think it's okay, good job. And then we forget just 3 generations back, your grandma was a slave, boo. But now you only talk to white people. You don't fool with nobody. But see, Carol, I can get you to a whole nother level.
Yes. Well, I mean, let's not make this a one-time thing. Like, I'm,
Absolutely.
I'm in the Handel method. I'm in their Inner You program, and we make promises and set consequences. And part of my promise and consequences this month is spending daily time, learning, educating myself, practicing what I'm saying, like putting my money where my mouth is. So we don't, like, this is not stop here. We are going to be friends. Sorry.
Yes.
You must be my friend. I need Black friends. You're one of my token Black friends to start. I do have a few Black friends, and I texted them because I had questions, and I said, I don't mean to be tagging you, Black friend, you're it, and white girl's got a question, but white girl has a question. And they were like, you're my friend. You can ask the questions.
Yes.
Because
absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I have to go because I have an appointment. I know you do too. Thank you, my friend. We're gonna talk soon, and thank you again for this.
I appreciate you.
All
Take
right.
care, honey.
Bye.
All right.